If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night.
Hi there, welcome back to the Board Game Specialist. I'm Carla.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we are talking about our top 9 educational games. And the reason we chose that topic was in Alberta here, our province, we've had a teacher strike for almost a month. They have now recently gone back to work and school. The kids are back in. But it didn't actually get resolved. They were mandated back to class.
Yes.
So I'm not a teacher. Mel's not a teacher, so I don't know all the fine details of it. But there's a lot of hard feelings on both sides. I know, and it's not a good time for that group of that career right now. So I feel for both sides, but not going to get into that. But we just thought about, these are perfect games for either homeschooling or just extra teaching your kids at home, like extra stuff that is actually fun to do, but you're actually learning while you're doing it.
I want to point out my list is not going to replace school at all.
No.
But it can, it's good games to keep the mind going, the mind sharp, and, offer some educational aspect.
Yeah.
Wow. That strike was going. I know my stepdaughter was missing school like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the teenagers, you'd think they were like, woohoo. But after 3 weeks, I think they were all ready to go back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. But before that, we always talk about a game we've played.
That's right.
I'm first, right?
You are. Let me bring it up here. There we go.
All right.
So Carla, what have you been playing?
Yeah, the game I'm going to talk about is this game I received from Kickstarter. And this one is a big, chunky game called Sweetlands. Now, I had been anticipating this one. This was probably my most anticipated Kickstarter for this year.
Oh, really?
It came on time. I think it was on time, which is rare. And it came in perfect condition. The rules were awesome. Like sometimes you get these heavier games in the rule books. You're like, I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know what they mean by that. But this one was really good. Now, this is a company called
Uchibakoya?
Yeah, Uchibakoya. And they've done games like Amalfi, Ostia, Aqua Garden. So they've done all these. They kind of have a style to their game. And they always have wonderful components. And actually, all the rule books have been really good in those games now that I think about it. But what this game is about is you are in like a candy land, basically. And the king has died. And you are trying to take over, basically, and make your land the best land ever. And you have these 3 player boards in front of you. And well, it's actually 2. And then there's like, they're pushed together. It looks kind of like 3 because there's 3 areas of it. And you have one of them is a whole map of your land. And it has all different types of terrain on it. And you will be placing tiles on that terrain, the matching terrain on the tiles. And then when you flip those tiles, they're going to give you some sort of bonus. But you are trying to connect as many as you can possibly do. And around the outside of that map, there's some ports. And you're really going to try to connect the ports. So you're not going to want to stick to one side of the board. You're really going to try and spread out, because there can be some major negative points if you don't connect ports together.
Okay.
Now, how you do this is there's all these worker placement spots. There's a central board that you can go to, and you're just going to place these discs, and they're all the same colored discs, so nobody has their own. You can basically do however much you want until you run out of currency that you need to do things, which is mostly cards. Because you're going to go to these worker placement spots, and if you're the first one there, you're going to pay 1 card to do that action. If you're the second person there, you're going to have to pay 2 cards. Now, these cards are kind of a multi-use card as well, because they can be used as payment, or they can be used to play out in your tableau. And you can play them out in two different ways. You can just play them to take the action, or you can play them to take the action and then you can, I can't think of the term now, but you kind of, you freeze it and you slide it under your board. And then anytime you activate the thing above it, you're going to get to do all those actions underneath.
Oh.
Now, it's quite neat that way. Now, in the middle of the board, you have all your little houses. So there are, let me get the names of some of them because they're so cute. They are called, one sec, the milk. Okay, so we got the, hold on a sec here.
So they got like
You have
cutesy
the
punny
chocolate-
names.
No, but they're just like, you have the chocolate bunny cookies. Those are these little bunnies that you can place onto buildings. They're not actually buildings.
Okay.
Oh, geez, I went really far in here. There. Okay. Yeah. You can place out your tent. What is that tent called?
Oh, they're okay. This is like quite an intricate looking game
Yeah.
compared to what the look of the box.
Yes, it
Yeah.
feels like a Lacerda game. That's how
Oh,
I
wow.
compare it to. Yeah. I can't find the names of them all of a sudden. They're escaping my mind. But you have 3 different types of buildings. One's a tent. One's like a, I know one's like a coffee house. And then another one is like, I don't know if it's a cotton candy, something. But you're going to always build these buildings from the bottom up. And every time you build them onto your map, you're going to, there will be a little bonus anytime you build that you'll get when you pull the building off. And then when you put it on the tile, you're going to get that bonus again because it has to have been a flip tile to place it on there.
Okay.
Now, there's different resources you need in order to purchase those. And those are just marked with cubes of kind of like a Terraforming Mars way, where 1 cube is 1 and 1's 3. And
Okay, yeah.
Uchibakoya does that a lot in their games. They track currency or resources with cubes, which isn't a favorite thing of mine, but it's really growing on me now because it saves them from having to build and make all these resources in a game and then make all the different meeples and whatnot. And especially in a game like this where you already have a whole bunch anyway for buildings and whatnot,
Right.
then you don't need to do it for the resources. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can go about to get points. You can just work on building out your map, like I said, connecting the ports. There's also, in the central player board, there's these flip tiles. And you can gain those different ways from different bonuses. And some of them they give you some more endgame points. Some of them are like a flip tile that you can do every round. So it'll give you more resources or money or something like that. And then the other one can give you like a player power sort of throughout the game. There's so much going on in this game, but I played this one I played it in a 2-player game, and then I played it solo like 5 times. And it's a longer game. I wouldn't say it's not a 3 to 4 hour game. I guess I haven't played it with 3 or 4 people, but with 2 people, it was around the 2 mark. A solo game you can get done in an hour because you're just focusing on your own thing and you don't have to work a AI kind of thing. You're basically like the only thing they're doing is blocking spots. So it's a very simple AI. You just flip a card and it blocks spots on the worker placement board. Now the card play in it is really neat too because there's different currency on top or resources that you have to pay. But then on the bottom, there's these little tags. And so they're different, like a piece of pie or, like a parfait or something. And some cards will say you'll get this for however many, orange pies you have. So you're kind of trying to collect those in order to use more cards to get like more things out of it if you have more tags. So it has a whole bunch of different mechanisms that he put together very, very nice.
Nice.
And I had watched this before I backed it because there was people, content creators were playing it and reviewing it. And most of them said, I don't want to give this up, like, because you had to pass it on.
Oh,
Passed it on
okay.
to
Yeah,
other
yeah,
creators.
yeah.
And none of them wanted to, because they just wanted to keep doing it and figuring out different ways to victory or, improve their score. And it totally is that. I had it set up on my table for days because I kept going back to it. I'm like, oh, I got to try one more. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to do it that way. So I'm excited to play it with. I think I'll try it with 3 before I try it with 4 people because it could be a possibly super long game by then. But
Right.
it is awesome, and I don't think it's in retail yet. Some of those Uchibakoya games, they take a while to get to retail.
Which honestly is nice. If you're going to be kickstarting a game, you want to be able to get it first and enjoy it first before it's just hits retail. Yeah.
Exactly. But the nice thing is when they do another Kickstarter, they always put all their other games in there in the Pledge Manager, so you could always just back for $1 and get something else you want, kind of thing. So it's awesome. I know all you Lizard lovers are going to love this game. The theme, I love the theme. I mean, who doesn't like, building
components are amazing looking.
Yeah, the color theme is just beautiful, and the characters are really neat too because I didn't say this, you're actually trying to build up your ice cream tower, so you have one big building per person that you're kind of working towards the middle to the end of the game, and that requires a lot of things, so it kind of gives you a goal to like work for, and then you also have like one cool ability that nobody else has, so that helps you achieve what you need to do, but it's just another separate building that sits on your player board. And then there's always like income at the end of the round, so there's different ways that you can build up an income, and just tons of things that all go together very nice. Sometimes these games with, a whole bunch of different mechanisms, you feel like it's just thrown in there just for the sake of having a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But this one really flows, and it's really nice and fun to play. But yeah, so that's the game I'm talking about, Sweetlands.
That looks cool. Sweetlands.
Yeah.
All right. My game is not a new game. It's an older one. My brother ended up coming over and we played a couple of games. And this is one that he had requested we play. And it's Undaunted Normandy. This is a 2-player game. One plays as the US and the other one plays as Germany. And it was neat. Okay, so I talk a lot about Memoir 44. This definitely has that vibe. You have all these tiles. You build the map depending on the scenario that you play. And it's not campaign-based. It's scenario-based. You could just play the same scenario, change it up. Love that about it. And you kind of have your troops that you're going to be playing with. Now, some of them are going to start on the map. The game we played, they believe all start on the map, and some you'll have like in your hand. But this is a deck building card game. And you can acquire cards, but then you have like specific cards, and it works very well. So, because if you battle and you attack the other player, if you are successful at hitting them, they have to discard a card of that troop. So they would look in their hand first, and if it's not in their hand, they would look in their discard. And if it's not in discard, they would look in their draw pile. If it's not in any of there, then you've actually destroyed the troop and you take the token off the map. Now, if they still have those cards available as the cards they can acquire, they can bring that troop back. But if they don't, you've successfully destroyed it. It's out of the game. It's gone. So that's really interesting. The other thing that's really interesting is you can move all of your troops, but you need to move your scout on each location first. Then you can move your troop where the scouts have scouted already. You can't just send them somewhere if they haven't been checked, like that location hasn't been checked out. So you need to send your scout first, then you can move your troop. And when you move a troop onto a location that's already been kind of checked out by a scout, you can take control of that location. And some locations are going to have like objective values, and then your goal is to whatever many objective you need to have. So you're going to need to kind of gain control of the location that has objective values. It was a blast. I absolutely loved it. This is one that has been talked about again and again. And I was like, maybe I should. No, I won't. Oh, maybe I should. And I did. And then I played it by myself once to learn the game. this is 1 versus 1 does not feel right when it's like you versus you. It just doesn't. It doesn't portray the feel of the game. So finally, my brother came and we played, and it was amazing. And it does. It is so interesting. Like I won the first game. He won the second game. But like it was a back and forth battle. I was like, oh my god, like it was quite the tug of war that we had going on trying to get, kind of control and win the game. But it was so good. This is so well designed. It's just a really great, it's a strategic game. It's a war game, a strategic game. It's not like a heavy war game, but I really enjoy that. And then the deck building aspect and then the battle component, I thought that was so well made. But so that's my recent play, Undaunted Normandy.
Awesome. So compare that to Memoir 44 now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar?
Yeah, so Memoir 44, you have your map, you have your troops, you're moving around, and you have certain things that's going to give you objective. Yes. Memoir 44 is you have the dice that you're going to roll, and if you roll that symbol, then you destroy one of those troops. And instead of having like one token, you'll have like 4 little army guys, and you can pick away at the army guys or whatever. So there's still battle. Like the base element is the same. It has the same feel to it. But Memoir 44 is card draft. Like you just kind of pick up cards. You're not deck building like you are in Undaunted. So the elements are different. The theme is the same. The feel of the play is very similar, but I own both and I'll be keeping both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, this was yours. Okay, I thought your brother had brought it.
Oh, no, this is mine. He came and said, oh, yeah, I want to play that game you have. I was like, which one? It's like, I'm going to need more.
Narrow it down.
So, but yeah, no, so we played it. It was good, and I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, and me and Mal were just talking about we're going to have another little game marathon here soon, so we'll
yes,
have to figure out what we want to play for that. But
we need to. It's
it's been a while since we've played together.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now let's get into our list. I think I remember my first one. Yep. So my number 9 is Viral. Now this is a bit of an older game, but this was one of the games that I played at my first little board game cafe. That it was, I guess it would have been late 2018-ish, maybe.
Oh wow, yes, a while back.
Yeah, way back then. So it was one of the first area control games I played, and I didn't realize I was playing an area control game until probably years later when when we always talk about we don't like those games, and then I think I'm like, that's totally an area control game, and I liked that game. But what you are doing here is you are trying to control a virus growing inside a human body. And the game board is basically a map of the inside of a body, like the heart, lungs,
the organs,
major organs. And the neat thing is that it actually has arrows that will point on each path to show you which way the blood flows. So, I mean, biology. I didn't actually take biology. I wish I did, because at the time it didn't interest me at all. Now it totally interests me. But this would be like, a really cool one, I think, to play.
Oh, 100%.
A first biology class, first week or something. Let's do an icebreaker. Everybody pull out a bunch of these games and play us. But what you're doing in this game is you are playing cards, and it's one of them, you're playing a pair of cards, and you do this twice, I believe, per round. But one of the cards has a location in it, and then the other card says what is going to happen there, what kind of attack it is. So you are all playing as a virus, and so you have all these different little chits that you will place when you're putting your presence somewhere. And so if it says the heart, it might say you can attack like 2, or you can go down to the next area or whatever and attack two other viruses there. Or I'm just giving like little examples, but you're basically just trying to, because it's scored at the end of the round, and then it's going to be like you're going to kind of go through each organ, or it's going to show you which area is going to score. So it's kind of broken up into 4 areas, I think, because it starts at the brain, goes lungs, heart, and then, or maybe it's 3 areas, and then it has like your different organs near the bottom. But it's really neat how it all flows and shows you like how you can't go from your brain straight to your liver kind of thing. You have to go in the order that everything goes. And I mean, I haven't played it for a long time, but you have it, because I was thinking about this game. I'm like, this is a perfect one. And I said, do you have this game? She's like, yes. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah, I wondered. It was like, because that was it. Like, okay.
Yeah, I just asked if you had it. She must know what I'm doing here. But it's such a cool way of playing like a war game, basically.
Yeah.
But it's a war inside your body with all these different viruses and stuff. And I think it's 4 rounds, or 4 rounds, I believe, that it plays. And
so it depends on, it's based on the score.
Oh, on the score. Okay. So maybe the one I played was 4. But yeah, okay. That makes sense.
It could be that it's 4 rounds, but I think it's based on the score triggers the end of the game. I want to say that.
Okay, that makes sense.
I have doubts now.
Yeah. And it's neat because you're dealt these different cards and you're going to mix and match and put them with the other, like I want this location and this action. I'm going to play these 2. And everybody picks them at the beginning of the round and you kind of put them face down, and that's what you're going to do. So sometimes what you have planned already got messed up because somebody else did something there and you're like, this isn't even going to work for me. So it kind of is a programming, because you're just hoping that this, whatever your plan was, is going to work out. But it's a really neat game. And I think it'd be that I have kind of listed the games and what you could be learning from them, or what kind of subject or whatnot. And so, yeah, this one, it's all about the human body and biology. So that's my number 9, Viral.
Yes, I love that game. This is the game that made me realize I do like area control as well. It's like, okay, it's just Risk. It's not area control. I like area control. Risk was my issue. So.
Yeah.
All right. My number 9. This one, okay, is it educational? Yes. There's tons of useless facts you can learn, and we'll learn while you play this game. Is it like important information? No, it really isn't. But I was like, it just fits. And that is Wits and Wagers. It's like, it's going to be, and there's the thing that's interesting with Wits and Wagers is every round you're going to get a question. That answer to the question is going to be a number of some sort. You are not going to know this information. It could be like, how much did the largest ostrich egg weigh in pounds? No idea. Nobody knows, right? Or, it's like one that we had was like, how far is the shortest point between Russia and the United States? Like, sheesh, that's big, right? So you're going to come up with a number. But if you think Alaska and then the map wraps around, it wasn't that much. But So that's the thing. Everybody's going to guess what the answer is, and you're not really going to know. Then you're going to put them in order from lowest to highest, and then we're going to bid on who we think is correct. Now, maybe you're very sure of yourself and be like, okay, I know, so I'm going to bid on myself. Or you could be like, I am, just pulling this out of my hat here. I have no idea. But Carla answered quickly, so maybe she knows, and I'll bid on her answer or whatever it is. Now, if you guess correctly, you get points for that. If somebody bids on you, you're going to get points for that. Or if the person you bid on answers correctly, you're going to get points for that. But there's all sorts of weird, interesting knowledge in here. So yes, you'll learn a bunch of stuff. It's going to be completely useless, but it's going to be neat facts. And then I think it's great that it makes you kind of think, is like, okay, hold on. So I mean, the ostrich is a big bird. This is an egg. It would be bigger than it. Like, and it really makes you kind of work it out, right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so that is my number 9, Wits and Wagers.
Yeah, what I like about that one is most trivia games you need the answer. This one you just kind of need to be close to it, and you might know someone who does know something about that. So it's like, oh yeah, it's a sports one. Okay, yeah, he knows about basketball. I'm gonna bet on him, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
this one always goes over well with any people, any group of any kind, gamers or non-gamers. Good pick.
Thanks.
All right. My next one is called Daybreak. So this one is all about climate action, and you're each controlling a world power, deploying policies and technologies, and trying to draw down the global emissions to net zero. Sounds interesting, right? To me, it does.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Probably didn't at the time I was in school, but this game is awesome. This is a co-op game, and I know when it came out, they had talked like it had been talked about a bit, and then just heard nothing about it. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like a year later, content creators kept talking about it, and they're like, this is a really good co-op. And I mean, it just looks great. The production is really nice. It's basic paper cardboard, but and some wood. And they tried to have no plastic, so even the boxes are like almost like a thick takeout container. But they did work well, like for, just holding the different resources and stuff. And so what you're doing here is you basically have, you all have these player mats in front of you, and they have different things on them. They have the different like pollution, types of pollution, population, and then on the bottom there's things that you can try to improve so that some of the emissions won't get out of control. And then you have this area where you could take these community crises, and you don't want to, but if you end up filling up that board, you will lose the game. So if one person fills up that board, you lose the game. Now, above your area there, you are going to start with 5 different cards, and they all have an action on them, and they have some tags on the top. And so the round goes where you kind of go back and forth and take turns, and you're do all your actions. So you might do the actions that are on the cards right there, or you might tuck a card behind to add more tags to that card, because it might say you get to lower the vehicle emissions for every certain tag that you have. And if you've tucked more of those tags behind, then you get to do like 3 of them. You get to remove them off your board, you slide it down, and then you're like reducing a whole bunch of emissions there. Now, it might say you get to add an ocean to the world, which means it's cleaning up oceans, right? Or you might get to add a forest. And so that goes on the main big map of the board. And you're kind of going to go like that. And you can also put cards in front. So if there's an action you don't really care about, you can place a card over top, and then the tags that are already there and the other cards are going to be useful, hopefully, for you. But you are just trying to build up like an engine kind of thing of trying to like build more forests and oceans, just so they can soak up all the negative stuff. And what you're trying to do is at the end of the round, when everyone's done all their actions, you're going to see if there's any crises. Most likely there will be, but you're going to place all of the emissions onto that. Like there's trees that represent forests. And if you have a blank one with nothing on it, you will actually go into like a winning mode of the game. And then you're going to make sure that there's no more crises happening. And if you do, you win the game. Now, it takes at least, 4 or 5 rounds, probably more, to do that. But you really have to work together, because you can help out each other different ways. You can, I think you can actually trade cards too, now that I think about it, but there's only a certain way to do that. But it's just a really, really neat cooperative game. It's not like anything else. Like, sometimes the pandemic games have given co-op games a formula that they do. I guess there's, you do all your good stuff and then the bad stuff happens. But it's a different way, and there's ways that you can see a forecasted like crisis so that you can prepare for it, but then there's some that are not forecasted so that you have no idea what's coming. And if you haven't built up your communities good enough, then they could really affect you and maybe not everybody else. But it's just such a neat game, and it's something that I think it helps. The subject that I was talking about is social, because of all the, climate control and just how they have to work with all these different agencies and things to get things done. And then, of course, science, because you're trying to basically like not heat up the earth so much and trying to cool things off and be as eco-friendly as you possibly can. It actually blew me away, this game, and I think I got it for Christmas last year, and I played it quite a few times. Played it with John. I don't know if I even tried it with any of my gamer friends. I think I've
never played it
to go. Yeah, I had it ready to go, but then there was other games that people were interested in, and I'm like, no, this one is really good though. But yeah, we'll definitely have to try this one. Me, you, and Carla would love this.
Yeah,
we would love this game for sure. But yeah, so that's my number 8, Daybreak.
Nice. Huh, interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, my number 8 is, and I'm putting it in the education because they've pulled so much actual information together to make this game, and that is Wingspan. Now, Finspan could be put into this as well, but who knew there was so many different species of birds? Yeah. Like, until you start playing this one. But with Wingspan, it's just like, because every card, the different bird cards that you have that you're trying to add into your tableau, this is an engine building game. You need to have the necessary food to kind of attract the bird, and you need to put them in the type of terrain that this bird likes to be in. But the card itself gives you a lot of actual information about the bird. One of the thing is the span of its wings, which I guess where the name comes from, and I guess how they measure the size of a bird from wingtip to wingtip. Mm-hmm. I guess. This is a bunch of information that I would not have known about. But the artwork, because you have and this is if you've ever looked at a book about, bird sighting or bird whatever, bird watching, and you get all the artwork could fit in any of those books. They're beautiful descriptive images of these birds and what they look like. And so just all the information they've put together for this game, I think this makes this really interesting. Now, I picked Wingspan. As I mentioned, Finspan would fit in here just as well, because you have that same thing with the fish. They went a little bit simpler. They just kind of have, they have this, the length of the fish or whatever, or the average size of the fish, but they're just kind of going small, medium, large in that one. But then how deep they like to be, if they're kind of a bottom feeder type fish where they're in the dark water, or if they're kind of closer to the surface and that sort of stuff. So the information that gets put together in these kind of games, I think definitely gives them a really good educational aspect to it because of that. They play very similar in a way that, they're all engine building. Now, Wormspan, I'm not going to put in theirs because they're fictional, but they put just as much information to these fictional ones that they've created. But I just think because of that aspect alone, that fits in here. Now, Wingspan, I remember when it first came in, everybody was talking about it, because everybody at first is like, I don't care about birds, I'm not going to like this game. And then everybody's like, this game is amazing. Everybody, you need to get this. But it's about birds. Rain, no. It's so, and they've done amazing with this. And then there's, how many expansion has it? Because there's Wingspan, then there's the Wingspan Asia, and then there's just more species of birds. There's so many birds on this world. Who knew? Somebody knew. I didn't know. But And it's just really well made. The gameplay is so fun and satisfying building your engine. Because when you kind of add a bird, you get to kind of activate what's in that row. So you're trying to build it up. Each of the standalone or the expansion kind of is great as well. And then the other version of this game with Wormspan and Finspan are also really good. I think maybe Finspan gameplay wise might be my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely great game. And that is my number 8, Wingspan.
I'm glad you mentioned this one because I had this on as one of my honorable mentions. So that's awesome
Yeah.
that it got showcased here. All right, my number 7 is Genotype. This one is about modern genetics and about how we can control how a pea plant inherits key traits from their parents: the seed, shape, flower color, stem color. Just sounds riveting, right? Snoresville, you would think, but this is an awesome game.
It looks
For all you
amazing. Like
science
it's a
lovers.
heavy looking game.
It's not that heavy, actually. It would be a medium euro, I would say, almost a
Okay.
light to medium euro. But it's really neat because they use the dice as with all the different pips on them are the different traits. And so you roll those and you put them in each color. And then you have this little player board and you start it with some pea plants and you only need certain traits on them. And so you're drafting these dice hoping to fill up, basically fulfill a recipe fulfillment. But there's different ways you can go about it because you can get these little tool cards that help you possibly fill up more pea plants. You can hire like different helpers that will help you do things throughout the round. But you're basically drafting these dice, and then after that, you're going to go through these other actions on the right side of the board and pay for some of these actions. So for upgrading things, making your garden bigger, or having more spots for dice so you can actually draft more dice to do more things. And there's only 3 rounds, I think, possibly 4 in this one, but
Okay.
it's a quicker game, like I would say an hour and a half max if you had maybe 4 players. But it's a really neat, like the mechanics they put together in this is really neat, and it's not talked about a lot, but I think it's because not a lot of people have played it. The people who have played it they just rave about it because it's such a neat different type of game. And the production of it is really nice too. They have, a little shovel as the first player marker, and your little what you're marking to cover the traits with are these little leaves, and they're just like a cardboard leaf, but they're so nice and satisfying to cover up and complete your pea plants. The dice or the colors they chose for that are really nice, but it's just a really neat game. And you're definitely learning about, I had put science, of course. This is something that went way over my head in science, and I was like, whatever, pea plants, who cares about traits and everything? But it kind of ties into, genetics and DNA and all that kind of stuff, how putting things together, actually there's an outcome, what comes to it. So it's kind of neat that way. And the neat part about the helpers in this are they're all like different types of monks or like sisters, nuns and stuff, and those are the ones that are helping you out. And so they chose that as the theme for like the whole game kind of thing. But it's just a really neat little game. And now this is made by, I'm going to look this up when you're talking, but this company has made a lot of learning games. I think this is the only one I have. I think I've played another one, but you might mention one, and so, but if not, I'll talk about them at the end. But they all are literally like about science and different things and cells and all this kind of stuff. But
I like that. Yeah.
But I'll look up the production company for it and I'll mention it at the end because
it's Genius Games on the box
so
here.
Genius Games, that's what it is. They make
Yeah.
lots of different science-y games, and you've probably heard of some of them, and you might even have one on your list. I'm not sure
I
if
might
you have it or played it, but
we'll see.
That's my number 7, Genotype.
Nice, good pick. I've never played this one, but it looks
Yeah,
amazing.
it's neat.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, my number 7. I'm going more with history here. And my pick is Chrononauts. Now, Chrononauts is a small card game. And what you do is you're going to put all of the cards in all of these historical event that occurred in chronological order. Now, you're going to have like your person, and you're going to have like missions that you're trying to accomplish. And we're all from a different version of reality, and we need to go back home, but we need to collect some artifacts and then go back into our kind of version of the history, right? So maybe where I'm from, JFK never got assassinated, and and John Lennon was never murdered or whatever. So then I would need to flip these cards. But what's interesting is like, okay, well, if you flip this card, the ripple effect that it would have, like, yeah, okay, I get that it's completely sci-fi when it comes to that, but the historical event that it's referring to are true historical events. And I think it's really cool that it puts it in chronological order, right? It's like, okay, so when did that happen? I don't know. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize it was like before this had happened. So it's not a game about learning that kind of history information, but as you're playing it, you will, and it'll kind of come up. And I think it's just a really neat game. Well, first of all, it's a really neat game. I really enjoy this game. I played it once where the person I played it with played a card that made it where my parents ceased to never met. So I ceased to exist, and I had to restart my missions under a new character. So
You'll Back to the Future game.
a little bit. So that is just really interesting, but it's kind of neat to see, the progression of when these events have happened. And I think that's a great way of putting these historical events in perspective. But yeah, so that is my number 7, Chrononauts. Now I also got the Star Trek version, which I haven't played yet, and I'm not going to put this one in here because that is completely made up events, right? So, or I'm assuming it would be, so since I haven't played it. But this one, yes, it's sci-fi based, so it's not true, but it is true historical event, and we're just kind of like, well, if this has happened, how could it have rippled through? So it's just a really neat, interesting game, and that's my number 7.
Neat. All right, my number 6 is Evergreen. Now, this one is kind of a sequel to Photosynthesis. So, photosynthesis is used cardboard trees. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that, and Evergreen is all wooden components. So it did make more sense in the first one because the fact that it showed different levels of trees, and so you could literally see 3D. This tree is bigger than that tree, so it's blocking sun from that tree, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, but in this one, they made it basically, some of the trees are still taller, but they're at a smaller scale than the cardboard standees were in the first one. Now everybody has this player board, and you start with your sun at the top. And then you're going to draft these cards from a central area, and the card will show you an area on it, and then it'll give you an action. And then you get to choose another action as well. It has to be in that area. So you could either just plant some sprouts, you can grow them into a smaller tree, or if you had a smaller tree, you could grow it into a large tree. Now, there's different slots on your board, and it's kind of grid-like, but not completely like a square grid. So in the circle, there's different spots that you can put your shrubs, trees, and whatnot. And so say if I put a sprout, and then next to it was another sprout, and then I grew those into 2 small trees, well, if they are beside each other from looking from the top, that's okay, because that round, they're both going to get sun, right? But if I had put them one in front of the other, one will be blocking the other one, so it will not get sun, and it will not grow, kind of thing, and it will not give you points. So, but the next time that sun is going to move a quarter turn to like the 3 o'clock on my board. And so now everything is going to look from that direction. So it's going to face from that 3 o'clock, the sun is shining down on the board. So now you're going to see, okay, well, now I've lined everything up for that first round, but now this round they're all blocking each other kind of thing. So you
Oh,
have to
right.
really think about where you're putting things and how you're doing it. And you might think, oh, I'll just kind of place them very spread out, but you do want to connect them because at the end of each round you score your best, like longest forest or whatever that is connected. Now, there's also different things like you can place lakes and that will irrigate the trees around it, or you can place shrubs just to connect the area, like so that you have one big area that you can score each round. There's different things. There's a couple expansions to this. There was one with cactuses and stuff that was kind of neat because you could I think you could store water in them and then use them for something else. I can't remember exactly what the expansion did, but now there's also another one coming out about cherry blossoms. So you can
Oh,
use those, but it's just neat because it teaches you, like, all about the different, like, growth and how you need sun and water, and you gotta, you can't, if everything's just crammed there and blocking each other, it's not gonna grow. And it is a little bit different than the first game version they made of this, but I do like this one. It's beautiful. It has the color palette that I love, and the little wooden meeples of everything are just so neat. And it's definitely a science, I would say, game
hmm
for this one, but teaches you like about the fact of light and how, I mean, and planning. You still got to plan everything, and you might be working towards that third round. First and second, I might not get a lot, but that third round, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of points here. So it's a really neat game,
nice.
though, and that's my number 6, Evergreen.
That's a cool looking game for sure. Yeah, you got lots of
I got
science
lots of
themed.
I got lots of science nature games. Shocker, right?
I went with more historical games. I
Yeah.
was having a really hard time making sure it's like, I can't have just history on my
I know.
educational list here. But my number 6 is another history themed game, and that is Memoir 44. So we talked a little bit about it just because of my recent play. But Memoir 44 belongs on this list even more than Undaunted Normandy, just because every scenario that you play is a battle that took place in Normandy. And you start, and they kind of tell you this is what was happening. The troops landed here, and this was the advantage that they had, or whatever, and why they were going there. So you get like a whole little story of the reason of what was happening, and you get like the historical background of how this battle took to take place. And then you replay that battle and see if you're going to get the similar outcome, if you're going to be successful in completing the mission that they were trying to do, and whether they had passed or failed then, and if you are able to, kind of succeed or not succeed when you're doing it yourself as well. So Memoir 44 has tremendous historical value to it, like with how they share that story and how it's all put together. So I just want to point that out. And that's why this one is on my list, because they've done such a great job with it. Now, it's an area control game. Um, and you got your troops, they have their troops, you're kind of placing your tiles, kind of recreating the terrain that took place for that particular battle. And there's different objective that you're trying to accomplish that's going to give you points. Now, destroying an enemy unit will give you victory points, but then sometimes controlling certain aspect on the map will give you points as well. And the first team to get to a certain number of points is going to get that. But what's interesting too as well with this, because it'll kind of refer to specific units or specific commanders or whatever that was kind of played key element in those particular battles. So it's just really well put together. There is tons of research that kind of put all this information together that went into the making of this game, and I think they did an amazing job with it. So Memoir 44, that's my number 6.
Yeah, that would definitely be in the social,
Yeah.
um, social
Social studies.
social studies. There we go. which was boring to me, but I am interested in it now. So it's funny how all those things come around, and you're like, oh, that I should have actually paid attention because I am very interested in this stuff now.
Yeah.
And there's so many games that teach you things you'll play, and you're like, I didn't know any of that stuff. Like, that's really neat. All right, my number 5 is Pandemic. Now, this one, as much as it's teaching you about cooperative, because it's a cooperative game, and you are disease fighting specialists and trying to cure all these different viruses and plagues that are all over, but it's, for me, I would say it's teaching geography because it has the map, and you are definitely learning where different major cities are in the world, and you're just doing it not by like, this is there, this is there. It's because you're moving everywhere and you're like, oh yeah, I got to get over to Hong Kong. Where's that? Oh, I can go this way, or I can wrap around. And it's basically like the globe was, it's a circle. And so if you're on the far west side of North America, and then you can actually you could wrap around and go over to the other side of the world. Or you could go across, just like as the world is round. But the geography part of it is the learning, but also any kind of co-op game I think should be played in school.
100%.
I think it's the best way to learn because you're working together, you have to accomplish a goal, and the feeling
you got to communicate.
Even if you lose, you're just like, oh, you're so close. But if you win, all the better. But just this is such an awesome game. I said in the beginning, the formula Pandemic, and I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant
no, they did it well.
Done so well that a lot of co-op games draw from that because it's it's kind of changed how we play co-op games, I think. And I mean, it's just awesome. But there's also some of the expansions for this. Like there's I can't even, if it's On the Brink maybe, but you are like making viruses in these little petri dishes and doing all these different really super sciencey things that would really interest people that are into all that kind of stuff. But just the geography alone. There was another game that I could have chose, and I'll talk about it as an honorable mention for geography. But I find this one, it clicked more where things are. Because in other ones, there's a map and you kind of do things and have to travel around. But this one, you're really thinking like, I got to get there. I'm just a few steps over. And so it really starts to stick. Like, you're like, okay, where is London? It's right there. And then you already know, because you know how far away you are. And so it really just starts to click where everything is. And I just found this one was the best way that helped me learn geography as an adult throughout the world. But Pandemic will always be awesome. There's different versions of it. That Fate of the Fellowship is just getting rave reviews. I have to try.
Yes.
Even though I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings person.
Bought a copy, so we'll have to play my copy. Yeah, I just haven't picked it up yet, but I bought a copy.
Yes.
So,
I was hoping, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy it. I want to try it first, but
it's in the family.
It's in the fam. Awesome.
Well, one thing I want to point out with Pandemic too is they do a really good job at showing the different aspect of the medical field as well. Because everybody with the different, the different role, the different specialists, like you have and how the advantage that they get, like that kind of plays a role in how you can, like they each work with each other, which is honestly fairly true to the medical fields as well. So I think that they did a good job with this game. They did,
because their roles are very thematic. Like the things they do make sense, and they actually work in the game. So it's really neat.
And it's become a historical game as well.
Yeah. Like there's
after COVID, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we played through some of the legacy. I think 1 and 2, no, 2 and 0. I think we played through during the pandemic.
Oh, nice!
And it felt weird playing it during then, but it was like, yes, let's fight.
It's so thematic. Yeah. No, great game, great pick. Wonderful. All right, my number 5. You know how I say my most played game of all time is Love Letter? I should specify Love Letter is my most played recorded play of all time.
Oh, okay.
My most played game of all time is probably my number 5. I have played this game every week from 2009 to 2016 at least. And that is Cashflow. So I mentioned a couple of times that I used to work for an education company and we were teaching stock and real estate investing. Now, I was a student with that company first as well. And one of the ways it won me over is like, because these are expensive training. They were really pricey training. But when you bought the course, they give you this game. They give you the Cashflow game. And Cashflow is a game that we then used while we're doing this, like to train the investor's mindset, right? Start thinking like an investor. We were using this game to teach that. But the goal of the game is you're trying to get out of the rat race. And in order to get out of the rat race, you need to have passive income that is greater than your total expense. Now, the difference between passive income and just kind of like a paycheck is passive income continues to come in whether you're working or not. Rental properties, businesses, different things like that, right? So you're trying to make it so that there's enough passive income that covers your total expense. And depending on what your role is, that could be easier or harder to do. A doctor will have a lot of expenses to cover, way more so than if you're a janitor. So it's going to be easier for a janitor to get out of the rat race than it would be for a doctor to get out of the rat race. But the doctor has a higher salary that gives you like kind of income that you can utilize to reinvest, right? So he's going to be more likely to be able to invest than a janitor would be. But where the true thing comes in here is every player has a balance sheet. This is going to teach financial education, and which is a subject that is very undereducated in school. We don't touch base on this. Mainly, first of all, can you not, with a grain of salt, because different people have different view on finance. You don't want one person to teach. That has to be something that happens at home. The problem is most family either don't have financial education to teach to their kids, or a lot just, like have a different view on it. So that's where we are very undereducated when it comes to financial education. But in this game, every player has a balance sheet that you're going to fill in with the information from your character. So you're going to be showing all of what your salary is. If you have any student loans, if you have any kind of debt like that, you're going to list all of your expenses. Now, if you have any children, they're going to cost money. And if you're a doctor, those children are going to cost you more than if you're a janitor, because you're not buying at Walmart. You're buying at fancy places, right? So, and sometimes you'll kind of be like, oh, great, I had a baby. My expense just went up like crazy, So these things happen in there. So it kind of has like a bit of a game of life thing, and it's a roll and move, and you're going to roll the dice and you're going to move, and you can land on small deals or you can land on big deals, and you're going to have a card and it's going to be like, hey, this is a rental property. This is how much it costs. This is how much rental income it brings in. And you're going to have to figure out, is this a good deal? Is it worth it? Is the income enough to support the expenses and the borrowing of it? And one of the things that we would teach that's not technically part of the game, but we would teach our players to become hard money lenders as well. Because 100%, if you're able to build a pool of money and you lend it out, you're creating the best investment opportunity. Yeah. So this game, I love it. It is amazing. I used to own 13 copies of it because I used to host network event that we would play this game to kind of help teach the mindset of investment. And I'm gonna have to stop because I'm so passionate with this game. I could go on and on and on, but it's a really, really interesting game. And it does something so unique and it teaches something so unique. Now, I do recommend like to read the rules and play it. Almost nobody got out of the rat race. Like nobody got out of the rat race because you're not playing like an investor, you're not thinking like an investor. And we used to have people teach, and then we would go around and be like, I'll sell you mentorship, but you have to give me your paper money and you're going to just take a loan because you can borrow money from here, but it's 10% monthly interest. So and we're like, what? I'm not there. It's like, yeah, I'll get you out of the rat race, buy my mentorship, and then we would mentor and tell them how to play, and then they would win. And like, what happened? It was just like tweaking the way that you play this game by applying the mindset of an investor. It just changed. It's like it's this game is spectacular, but you might not like it if you're playing it with your current mindset, following the rules, roll and move, and like it's like the way you think and what you apply changes the game. But it's amazing. And that is my number 5, Cashflow.
I thought I still seen a whole bunch of these in your house. You don't have them anymore?
I still own some copies of it. I didn't keep all 13 copies. I think I ended up giving them to Keith for components for like games that he could, kind of create prototypes and stuff. But yeah, because I'm not hosting network events anymore. I don't need 13 copies of this game.
Exactly. Cool. Sounds cool. All right. My number 4 is I'm going over to math now and deduction. And this one, the one I chose, is kind of the simplest form, but I still think it is like 10 steps up from Clue. And this one is just Sleuth. Now, this is a Sid Saxon game. That it is Sid Saxon, right?
It doesn't say on my thing here, but yeah.
Yeah. I'll double check that. I'm sure it is. But this one, you are basically just trying to figure out which is the hidden gem. Now, you have all these different colors of gems, and then you have solitaire gems, paired gems, and then triple gems. They're called something else though, and they're in different colors and different, like you have pearls, diamonds, and so on. And so you shuffle the whole deck, and then you pull one out, and that's the one you're all trying to figure out is like which one is missing, just like you would in Clue kind of thing. But everybody has a sheet, and then they have like a little screen that they can hide their sheet. And what you do is you have some cards in front of you. You have cards that will say like ask about a pair, or you might have one that says ask about diamonds, and you're going to choose one of those cards, and you can ask somebody around the table, say how many say pearl pairs do you have, or how many pearls do you have. There's different things you can ask, and then that person has to, if they have any, they have to give you those cards and show you give them back to them. The other person or people that you're playing with can see how many things they're giving you, but they don't know what. So that might really help them, because they might have already, you do start with a hand of cards, so you know the cards in your hand are not the one you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So if, say I ask for all your pairs of gems, and say Mel handed me 3 pairs, and the person over here already had 2, well, they know probably which one that is already. So they've deducted, okay, so this one hasn't been found yet. And you just kind of deduce on your player sheet until you can figure out and narrow it down to like, it's got to be this one, because nobody's got this and I've got the rest of these, and they're looking here and I'm looking there. And then you, on your turn, just decide you're going to guess what it is, and you get to peek at it. And if you're right, you win. If you lose, you're out of the game. But it's such a simplistic way of playing Clue, only there's no roll and move. It's all about just deduction and trying to figure out like, okay, problem solving, because if she's got this and she's got that, but she's saying she doesn't have any of those, well, I know I already have 3 of them, it's got to be this one. And I found it was the best, most streamlined game that for the classroom. I think there's a lot of more deduction games that I find more interesting. But for a classroom, I think this would just be perfect because it can be played fairly quick. You know, you could play it in, I mean, it could be done in 15 minutes if somebody got lucky. And with some good information right off the top, or it could take, up to half an hour. But this always goes over well, and this has gone over well with non-gamers as well. People just love trying to figure out stuff. So that's my number 4, Sleuth. I'm gonna look it up.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure it's Sid.
Good pick. So my number 4, I'm back on history. Imagine that. And this one I picked Timeline. Now, there's a lot of different timelines out there. There's Timeline, just a classic one. There's Timeline Event. There's Timeline Inventions. There's Timeline Canada. There's Timeline US History. There's Timeline, there's a dinosaur one. Like, there's a lot of different options out there. Now, what's going to happen is you get, I think it's 4 cards that you start with, and you're going to have your 4 cards. There's going to be 4 cards on, well, there's going to be 1 card on the board, and then you're going to play a card from your board. Now, you have them on the base where it shows just if it's invention, like an invention. The wheel, let's say. But, okay. And then the invention on the thing, maybe it's the train. Okay, well, the wheel was invented before, so it's easy. You just put that one sooner. Yeah. It's going to be earlier in the timeline. No problem. Then you get the next one, and it'll be like toothpaste. Okay, when was toothpaste invented? After the wheel, maybe before the train. Probably before the train. So then you're going to put it there, and you're going to flip it. And if it's correct, that's great. It stays there. If it's incorrect, you have to draw a new card, and then you have more cards to put out. And the more cards that get put out, the more tricky it becomes, because it's like, I don't know. It's like, and it gets tight. It's like, oh my God. Okay, the rotary phone. Like, okay, I mean, okay, so where does it fit? So, or whatever it is. So, and then sometimes it's pure luck, and it's like you managed to figure it out, but it's like, that was like, I didn't know for real. But it's such an interesting game, but there's a lot of neat information you're learning as you're playing. And mostly since there's like different topics that you can play. Now, Timeline Canada is tradition. We play that one on Canada Day every time. And we'll play it in between and stuff as well. Now, some people say it's like, oh my God, but you play, then you're going to know, and it's going to be too easy down the road. Yes, to a certain point. If you play it every day, sure. My memory gives me the gift that it's a new game every time. So I don't necessarily have that problem. Plus, I don't play it day after day after day, right? So I kind of revisit and then be like, right, I remember seeing this card. What was the answer? No idea. But it's still, it's still good. Can you imagine somebody like has like photo memory? Like they probably remember all this, and they'd be like super good at it. But yeah. So Timeline, I think any game in that series is great educational game. And that is my number 4.
Yeah, that one's awesome. I had that one in my honorable mentions too. But it's perfect, like, for a classroom. It's a quick, easy game that with however many people to just have teams or whatnot.
Yeah.
Good pick. All right. My number 3 is Ecosystem. We're talking about animals again. And this isn't the last one.
And this is another genius game.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I didn't even realize this one was. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, that really rounds it out. This is definitely a science one, but you literally are actually learning about ecosystems because you are just playing cards into a grid, and it's different animals. And there is like, there's a ocean version of this. There's like a African like safari version of this one, but this is the first one that came out. And so you're trying to place these cards next to cards that are going to help them give you points. And they all make sense. Like a bear wants to be next to bees and fish because obviously they want to eat the honey and the fish. And then fish want to be, fish want to have like a big stream, so they're going to want to be next to like all this water. There's moose, and I can't remember what they want to be next to, but there's I think it's frogs, and they want to be next to like a stream or like a field that has a lot of fireflies in it, so that they can eat up the fireflies. And then certain things don't want to be next to other things. So, like, you don't want to have bears, I think, next to each other because they are very territorial. And so you kind of learn all about that. And the better you make your ecosystem, obviously, the better your point scoring will be at the end. It's a really quick drafting game. You have, like, I think you start with 10 cards. You pick one, put it face down. Then when everyone's chosen, you flip it and place it in your grid, and then you pass your hand of cards, and you just go on like that. And I think it's 3 rounds, and you end up with, I think it's a 5. Oh, I guess it would be. You end up with 30 cards, so it's a 5x6 somehow. But it's just a really cool game that the scoring in it, you also want to diversify. So you want to not just stick to like, having 2 different types of things. The more you diversify, the more points you're also going to get, which is just like an ecosystem. You can't have a great one with just a couple things. You have to have all kinds of different plants, animals, and insects to help round out your ecosystem. And it's just a really cool, quick game that you can play. I think it would be great for probably even late elementary. I think could play this one, but it'd be awesome in a middle school setting. But it's my number 3, ecosystem.
I played this with you before, haven't I?
Did you?
It looks familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you we could look it up. But anyways.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah. All right. My number 3, believe it or not, is another historical game. And this is the Transcontinental. Now, in Canada, our motto is ad mare uste ad mare, which means from one ocean to the other. So when we became a country, it was like number 1 priority to connect one side of the country to the other side of the country, because Canada is very large. So they built a transcontinental going from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And this is a game that's based on that, on building the train. So you start on your right side and you build, and then you the train goes back and forth and back and forth. And when you get to the end, you can kind of distribute some of your goods to adding new tiles to build the Transcontinental further. And then you come back, and then now you can go further, and then you have access to more different action that you can do. So gameplay is very interesting. And one thing that's neat as well is when you land on a tile, you have to decide if you want to activate the top or the bottom portion. And depending on where the tile is, it'll kind of activate different things. So the gameplay is very well put together. What I want to talk about, especially with this game, is they made a whole other book. So you have your rule book, then you have a whole other book of all the historical facts of what went in to building this Transcontinental. I don't even remember how long it took, but this was a huge endeavor, right? And it had to go through the Rockies. So there was a lot that went into this project, and this was something that was huge for Canada. And I think that it's so neat that they went through and put together all that kind of gathered all the history of it, made a whole book out of it, and based the game from this. Now, this game was a winner of the Canadian Game Design Award. So, and it published after that as well. So gameplay is very interesting. The historical background of it is super, super interesting. And that is my number 3, the Transcontinental.
This is a really nice production too. And this guy was from Alberta, right? The designer?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because he was at FalCon. I bought my copy there. Yeah,
that's neat. Awesome. Okay, my next one, last animal game. This one isn't about saving the planet. It's about saving animals. And this is called Endangered. Now, this is another cooperative game. I've had a ton of cooperative games on here. But this one, you are trying, it's all about global conservation. You're trying to, depending what scenario you play, you're going to choose an animal. The base game comes with 4, and you are going
Is it
to
4
try
or
and,
2?
oh, maybe it's 2. I have the
The
expansion, and then
tigers
I
and
have
the
the
otter.
mini. Okay, so then
Is it
maybe
the
it's
otter?
2, and I have, um,
Some sort of water mammal.
yeah, I've got them all in the box now, so I don't know which
Oh,
one
okay,
it
yeah.
comes with. But I just had purchased the red wolf mini one, and so I just played that one. But
Nice.
whether which animal you play, it does change up the game a little bit. But because there's 2 sides of the boards, there's a land side and an ocean side. So if you have, there's a fish, there's the sea turtles you can try to save, and it's all kind of endangered species that you're obviously trying to save. But how you do that is the board will start with so many animals on it. And then you have different tiles depending on what animal. Like the polar bear, I have that one in one of my expansions. And you have ice all over the map. And so they're obviously on each piece of ice. And sometimes the ice will melt, and then the polar bear is in the water. And then at the end of the round, if there's polar bears in the water, they're gone. So it is a little bit of a sad game, it can be, but you are trying to preserve, so you have to do the best for the whole. And how you do that is you all have a character, and you could possibly be like an animal photographer or a lobbyist, or there's even, I think, a celebrity is one of them. But you have a little role that you play, and you get one little bonus, and then you have 3 dice. And everybody on the each round will roll their dice, and then you're going to place these dice on action cards. And whatever you place, there will be certain amount of spots that'll hold dice. If I placed a 4, the next person has to place a higher dice down if they want to go on that same action. And so in a 2-player game, you have to up, it has to be upped by 2, the pips. But you're going to place your dice on these action cards to, gain money, and you're going to use that money to basically, what you're trying to do is convince these different countries that you need this money and this funding to be able to save these animals, and you're trying to convince them of that. And so you're trying to get influence on these cards so that when the time comes for the voting, you have to have at least 4 of these countries say yes. And how they do that is they'll have a number on them. They're all face down to begin with. And once you've placed an influence, it'll flip. And then you can see this one needs 12 influence on it. So you're going to have to get either 12 influence there, or be able to roll a dice to add to what the influence is. And then you can also do card play to get more money, or to make more action spots. So everybody has their own unique deck, and some of the cards will give you more action spots that give you more things to do. And of course, you're going to do all your good things, and then the bad things are going to happen. You're going to flip this impact card, and it's going to tell you just automatically lose 2 animals, or you're going to place a tile that's going to harm the animals and possibly move them around. And you're trying to get them in pairs so that they'll breed, because they will breed before you draw the impact card. And if you can get a bunch of pairs together, you'll breed and add more animals to the land, and which you're trying to do. But as you go 2 steps forward, sometimes you're going 3 steps back. And some of these impact cards will stick around. Sometimes they're just a one-time thing, and sometimes they're will stay there, and they won't go away until you do something to get rid of them. It's another cooperative game, which I think is great again, and just how you learn all these different, how like to lobby for different things that I don't think they really teach this in school, but I think it's important, not maybe just about animals, but any kind of, charity or something that you're trying to change. Or I mean, there's a lot of politics involved in here too, that you can kind of see just like a hint of it in some of your cards and things. And especially the celebrity one is kind of neat. But it's a really neat game. And you know it changes it up a little bit with each animal. So there's kind of, it doesn't feel like you're just playing the same game over and over and over. Every animal kind of changes it up and sometimes has more unique things in it that can just make it feel fresh to you. But I think it's an awesome game, and it would be an awesome one to play in the school. And that is Endangered.
Yes. Yeah, this one is a cool one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so neat, all the different expansion packs you can get for all the different animals. I want the sea turtle one. I want the panda
that
one.
That one comes in the big one, so the big expansion.
Yeah, I know.
I put that cover on my box now because the sea turtle is just gorgeous.
Yes.
And then I have the panda coming, the giant panda expansion.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Great pick. All right. My number 2 is a dinosaur game. Now, there's a lot of dinosaur games out there. There is tons and tons of dinosaur game out there. This is one of the only ones that I've come across that is like true educational dinosaur game. And this is Holotype, Mesozoic North America. And this game is all about you being a paleontologist. And it's really cool because all of the cards that you have is going to show like the name of the dinosaur as well as its scientific name. It's going to also show when it was discovered and where it was discovered. And in this game, you need to first go into like field expedition. It's a worker placement game. So you're going to do like field expedition where you're going to gather some fossils. So you're going to gather the fossils, and then you're going to be able to kind of study these fossils, and you got to spend like it's going to collect. So in order to find and discover a specimen, you need to have so many of these type of fossils or so many of these type of fossils. But not only do you need the fossils, you also need to have the research. So then you're going to need to go to the library where you're going to collect the research that you've spent enough time researching this thing so that you can discover this species. And when you discover the species, if you have a certain amount of species, you then can go into the middle where you can publish about them. And you have your paleontologist and you have like your field assistant, and then you can have like an undergrad that's going to be, so at the most you'll have is 3. But when it comes to publishing journal, your field assistant can't do that. He doesn't have the necessary knowledge. Your paleontologist or your undergrad will be able to do that. And it's just so well put together. And you get playing the game and you get caught up in reading all of the stuff about the dinosaur, where they were studied, the nickname that they give them, and and all that sort of stuff. And this is, as I mentioned, one of the only dinosaur game that I have come across where it's true factual, like facts and scientific facts about the dinosaurs. And the game, not only is it like all of that and it's all great, but it's a lot of fun as well. I bought this because my friend, her son is studying to become a paleontologist. And I was like, he's going to love this. Oh my God, he's going to love this. So I bought it. We played with them. They bought their own copy. We got him at Palmetto Way. So I don't know if Palmetto Way still has copies of this game. And they had a new expansion that just came out of dinosaur fossils discovered in Europe. But it does such a great job, and all of the facts put together, and then finally a dinosaur game that's science-based, and I think that was amazing, and it's a ton of fun. And that is my number 2, Holotype.
Yeah, that one looks cool. I haven't tried that one yet either. All right, we're down to our number 1. So I picked a completely different theme for number 1. And the reason being is this one could be played and probably from grade 2 to grade 12. And this is Paperback. Now, Paperback is a word building game. But I mean, of course, it's going to work on spelling too. This is a deck builder. And I love this game. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, I think it's the fact you're not just spelling words. I mean, and I do love almost all the word games out there, but this one is my favorite. everybody starts with the same hand of cards. Like in most deck builders, you all start with the basic, and you draw 5 cards, and you're going to try and spell a word with them. There's always going to be a common letter as well that you can use. And if you make a word, I think it starts with 7 letters, then you get to take that card into your deck. But once you build your word, you're going to look at the top, and there's going to be like little cents on there. And that's money that you're going to acquire to buy more cards to build up your deck. So there's this big market in the middle of the table, and you're going to get to buy different things, different cards, and then they'll go into your discard. Now, some of the cards have different little abilities on the bottom. They might say, if you use this at the end of the word, you get to double your score. Or if you use it, whatever you're using the letter next to it, you get to double that one. There's some little attack cards, so you can actually harm other people's decks just, for the time being. But it's such a neat game because what you're trying to accomplish is get these big point cards, which are these advertisement books, or these books that are on these ads, and they cost quite a bit of money. I think the first one, I don't know if it's 6 or 11, but the thing is, you don't want to buy them too early, because if you buy them, they are a wild card, but they clog up your deck because they don't give you any money to use to buy more cards, and they also don't have an ability on them. So yeah, they help you build a word because it's a wild, you can use it whatever, but you really want to build up your deck to have all these abilities and have some high cards that will give you more money to be able to buy things. This was an ingenious invention, I think, this game. It is talked about quite a bit, but I still think it deserves more credit, and it's just an awesome game. And there's another version called Hardback. Of course, I own that one too, but it's a little bit different, and it changes it up a bit. You can buy these little ink things, and they can it's like an eraser, so you can do all different things. You can get help with it, words, and you actually pay to people things if they are willing to help you, but then they get a little bonus out of it. And it's kind of got a little bit different feel to it, but this one is my favorite, and that's Paperback, my number 1. And that's definitely for spelling and word building.
Nice. Yeah, not cool game for sure. Yeah, I didn't even put any word game in my list, but definitely. And there's so many great ones out there. So Great pick. All right, my number 1, when we talked about doing educational game, this was the first one that came to mind. So I was like, well, that's my number 1, because that's, if I think, okay, educational game, what do I have? This is the one that comes to mind. And that is Cytosis. So this one is a game about cell biology. It's a worker placement game all about the cell, and you're trying to build cells, but you're trying to build healthy cells. And, as you build them, you're going to get health point. And at the end of the game, it's whoever has the most health point is the winner. Now, it has some resource where you'll be collecting different resources. And I have a thing, because I never remember what it's called. Obviously, I didn't pay close attention in biology. But your resources are like mRNA or ATP that you're going to be collecting. Then you can spend those resources to build, and you're going to be building like enzyme or hormones or receptors, and you're trying to build these healthy cells so that you get the health points, and then whoever has the most health points works. But it does have the components and all of the components of a cell. Now they have this one. There's a plant-based one as well that I want now. But this game got sent to me by that company, and then I was so excited about it because they're like, "Oh, we do educational games. If you're interested, we can send you one." And I was like, "Oh, educational game! I want these two, but I don't know who makes them." And it was them, so I was super excited. So, nice. But this is just if you're doing biology and you have to learn that sort of stuff. Can be such a dry subject to learn that I think this game puts things in perspective. You kind of have a nice visual, and then there's a game component of it. You learn more through play than you do through studying or anything, right? It's a known fact. It's And having games like this that helps promote those type of learning like this specifically, I think it just makes that is information you're going to absorb so much better. But yeah, Cytosis, that was the first one that came to mind when we got talking or thinking about educational games. So I knew this one was going to be my number one. And it is Cytosis, a cell biology game.
Awesome. Is that one a Genius game?
It might be. It shows Journals of Cell Science on here, but let me go look it up. Because I have it open here right now. Yeah, it's another Genius game.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, what was the other one called that you said?
The plant-based one? Or hold on, let me go click on them and see what else they have for games.
Because I know they
Cellulose.
Oh, cellulose, right. Okay. And then they also have periodic. Do they have that one? Or
subatomic? That's about atoms. There's 32. Hold on, let me open it. So we have cellulose, we have convalence, which is a molecule building game. I want them all, honestly. Jeez. And you know me, I'm not gonna.
I don't know if they have this one, but periodic is all about the periodic table, and it is an awesome way to learn. I don't have that one, but I think I've played it once, and it.
See, like they have Ion about compound building. They have Lincoln, which is a DNA card game.
Oh, that's cool.
They have. I'm seeing
really
if
neat ones in there.
Periodic, the game of element. That's theirs as well. I want that too. I want them all. I'm going to be so smart after I get all the Genius games.
I'll be ready for school.
Right? Let's go back. I'm ready now.
There's a couple more that I wanted to just mention quickly. Ticket to Ride, I think, is a great one for geography. But for me, it didn't help me learn as much as just playing Pandemic and really, remembering where everything is. But that's a good one because you can get all different countries for Ticket to Ride. And then another one, when I was looking up these games, it's called Fauna. Did I ask if you had that game?
Yes, you did ask me, and I don't think I did.
It has the map of the world, and you have these cards with all these different animals, and you're basically trying to... it's kind of a trivia, but more like you just need to be in the general area. And now I think how it's played is you pick a card, and it says, like, okay, like a rhinoceros. What area of the Earth is that?
That would be cool.
Yeah, and so
Africa, I think, right?
Yeah, like, but where? So you just kind of need to be close.
Yeah.
And how close you get, I think you get more points or something like that.
Nice.
But it kind of was.
We need to get that.
The production didn't seem great, but it seemed like a really cool game because you could be like, okay, like I know these have to be over in this area, and they can be in different areas. Like I don't think there's just one spot for each of them, but I thought that was really neat, and I bet that's a Genius game too. Any of these ones were probably a Genius, but there's like another one, Expeditions of the World. That one you're like, it's another map one. I can't remember what you do there, but trekking through the world and trekking through history is another one.
Nice,
that gives you maps and things like that. I haven't played that one yet, so I didn't put that one down. But there's a lot of, I mean, you could literally pick out every game that you own and describe something that you're gonna learn from it. And I mean,
true. There's definitely that to it. Yeah. Like I had, because I vetoed a lot of like history game because that's where I kept going. But A Few Acres of Snow, which is a Martin Wallace game, and it's about like the battle of like Canada against the US before like we were countries and stuff, and then how like the native were involved in that as well. Boggle was my word game that I had on my short list that I ended up not picking just because I learned so much playing Boggle.
Yeah.
Like it was so good.
You have to think really fast too. So
you have to, and then kind of spot it and the different letters. What can you put together and how can you change them up to create more words? It's a great game. I had Dr. Eureka.
Oh yes, no, I own that one now too. It's in my my grandchild collection.
We played it last week, me and Lily.
Did you?
Yes, cool. We play it lots, honestly. But this one is a really neat, clever kind of build on your. I mean, like dexterity, but it builds on like your problem solving. Yeah. Okay, you have 2 colored beads in each of these little beakers, and you need to create this pattern without touching them, just by spilling into each other. And then how can you get there as fast as possible? Like, it's a great game for critical thinking and problem solving. So, and I was like, oh, I should put that up. I was like, oh, but these is like, so this one didn't quite make it, but it was there. I had Stockpile as well.
Yes, I have that too.
Yeah, and I think that one's a cool
stock game. Yep.
I have one coming. I backed a new stock game coming, but what I really like with the new stock game that's coming is you have the charts and the candle charts, and you build the candle chart as you play. I bought the game for that alone. I was like, oh my God, what is it called? Let me go bring up my Kickstarter. But I was like, oh, I should put it on my list, but I've never played the game. I have no idea. I can't just put, this is great education game, because there's charts reading. But I mean, chart reading is just so cool. Let me see. I'm bringing up my save ones. What else did I have? Oh, I had Water Gates as well for the
that's a good one too.
That aspect. I have like DNA Habitopia coming as well.
Yes, those will be
and then Synthesis. I think those would fit well in there. The one that I'm talking about is called Age of Bitcoin, and it has the chart.
You did talk about that, right?
Yes. So it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
I can't wait to teach my grandkids through games.
Oh,
I'm gonna like have a whole series of that when I have grandkids. I'm just gonna be like, as young as possible, what can I start them with, and then from there, and just see how much I can teach them from that. But can't wait.
Yeah, and have like those genius games.
Yeah,
if you have kids, like, okay, come on, we'll make you smart.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. Okay, now I want to play.
Yeah. Next time we are going to talk about, because we only talk about one game we've played, like that's all we do now, and we used to talk about a couple, 3, 4. We are going to do a whole episode on our 9 most recent buys of games.
Yes.
So we buy a lot of games, me and Mel.
Oh my God, last month was bad. Last month was bad for me.
Me too.
I had like, and then I have no room. I was like, okay, where am I going to put them all? But but we'll pick our top 9 of those if it's more than 9. And talk. And for me, it'll be recent buys. So we're kind of like the top 9 recent buys. We'll say like what, in the last month or two? Last month?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that came the last month. I'm going to include games I have not played because I have to.
Yeah.
Carla does not, apparently. So.
I have 2 right now, but that's because I bought them today. They'll get played soon, don't worry.
One of them I played, so at least...
Yeah, you have played one of them, so that might be on your list too, actually.
It could be. We'll see.
And then after that, we're going to be going into December. So we've done Christmas games, we've done wintry games, we've done gifts. So give us some, like...
What's a Christmassy, wintry theme we should do? Matt, get on it.
Yeah, Matt always gives us great ideas.
Oh, Kayla's had some neat suggestions before as well.
Yeah, our 2 listeners.
And if you're like, hey, I listened too, but then you should message us and let us know.
Yeah. No, we do know we have more because we have more in the Discord, right?
Yes. So join the Discord, go on our Discord channel and tell us, okay, here's some cool theme that you guys could do over the holiday. I'm full on holiday mode right now. I mean,
we're just talking about, we're going to set up all our Christmas stuff like in the next few days. We're both freaks like that.
I have like an after 8 hot chocolate, and then I got like a pine smelly thing in my office, so it smells like a Christmas tree here. And we're doing our Christmas shopping this weekend. We always do it like around.
You do it so early.
We do it early, but we buy and wrap, and then because they're all wrapped, we got to put the tree up pretty soon to have somewhere to put it. Right. So no, I am ridiculous. I am so Christmas crazed. And so is Carla. So that's good. She makes me feel good about my sickness here. And honestly, Lee is worse than I am.
Is he?
He's always the one to be like, oh, we should put the tree up. It's like, okay, I'm in. And then I was like, oh, we should put it down now. I was like, oh, not yet. I was okay.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I keep it up till like mid-January usually. I liked it up a full 2 months. So
you know what? I set my tree up. I don't turn my light off the whole time it's on. I love waking up in the morning and it's just a Christmas tree glow. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So give us some Christmassy, wintry something you want to hear from us, because we've done it all, I think. Maybe not, but
we should do like all of our episode until Christmas to be kind of some sort of Christmassy theme.
Yeah, well, from now till the next one will be the end of November. So after our next one, we got to go right into Christmas mode. Because
of course.
We'll already have been in it for a month. So
there you go.
But until then, where can people find you?
So as we mentioned, make sure you join our Discord channel. We'll have the link in the comment or in the description below. I'm also on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room, as well as my Facebook channel, Mel's Board Game Room, and my YouTube channel, Mel's Board Game Room. How about you, Carla? Where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at boardgamespecialist, all one word, and I have a Facebook page called Red Deer Board Game Fanatics. All right. Well, until next time. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
If you want to stay with me, if you want to try, maybe